Cheers, Muses. I'm Erica Papillion-Posey, and welcome to another episode of Suits Souls by EPP, where I inspire you toward your own style muse with timeless, classic, prim looks from my boudoir, as well as some content to help you toward your best lifestyle. And as always, please hang out until the end for the mini photo shoot that I provide for you at the conclusion of every episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about style. Now, in particular, personal style. Now, we hear this word style thrown around a lot, but I think it still remains ambiguous to a lot of people. But we're going to get into the weeds of it today in terms of helping you to figure out how to determine your own personal style where fashion is concerned. So let's hop into it. Now, as per definition, style only means a particular or distinctive manner in which you do a thing, right? Personal style has to do with your own unique personality, as well as your preferences, the things that you like, the things that you think resonate with you and your own sensibilities. That's it at its core. And today I have 6 tenets, 6 guideposts, if you will, that I think will aid you in helping you to determine what your own personal style is. Some of it is trial and error, but that's what it's all about, is figuring out what you like, what resonates with your personality, and amplifying that thing. So the very first of those tenets is how to determine your personal archetype, right? Your personal archetype. And how do you do that? Easy, really simple. Movies that you like, television shows that you like, books, films, all of that stuff, or characters within those mediums that really resonate with you and your personality, a particular way that that character may dress. That literally is how you start. Things, people, places, you name it, that speak to your personality, that speak to your spirit, right? So what's your personal archetype? Period. It could be a cartoon character. It could be something from a video game. That's it at its core. Get started there. Take me, for instance. One of the ways that I was able to quickly flush out my personal design aesthetic, my personal style, was in graduate school. Now, because I'm a type A personality, as I've said many times in episodes past, I've always had a really good sense of self. I've always known what things, people, places resonate with me and which do not. And you know what how the saying goes, you use what you can and you throw the rest back. And I've always been really good at doing that. But in terms of really solidifying my personal style, that really happened for me in graduate school. How, you say? If I was a music major, well, we had this thing in grad school called, and it was for undergrads as well as grad students, but I happened to be a graduate student at this particular University of Denver. Hey, Pioneers, go. I digress. But anywho, as a music student, I experienced this as an undergrad as well, but at a different university. You are subject to something called a performance class. It's like a weekly master class where you are charged with performing whatever musical works that you are currently working on in an attempt to perfect those musical works. But not only were you judged vocally, but you were judged aesthetically. So not only were you subject to criticisms and critique, and it needed to be constructive, that was a rule of the class, but not only were you subject to the criticisms and critiques of your fellow student body, but you were subject to those same criticisms and critiques from the vocal staff and faculty as well. Also, it was acceptable and common practice that students that were performing in that class could have their family and friends come by and witness their performance, even though it wasn't anything that was formal. You could have guests come in and, just see what was going on. It could have been a new prospective student and their parents. It could have been some other faculty or other heads from other parts of the university. Whomever, it was open to the public, and you were subject to criticism and critiques from anyone participating in the audience on that day. So if you had a dress on that didn't go with some shoes and vice versa, that could be spoken about. If there were colors that best suited your skin tone, that could be lobbied at you. If you had some pantyhose that did not resonate with your skin tone, that could be lobbied at you. But not just criticisms and critiques. Of course, you were also told and really uplifted for the things that you did well also. But it really did prepare you for a broader, larger stage, because that is what was going to be happening. You were going to experience and be open to those same critiques and criticisms when you were going to the audition stage, as well as the competition stage. So it was that they were just preparing you for what was getting ready to happen once you left the doors of the institution. So you quickly learned what worked for you and what did not work for you. And sometimes it could be harsh, and sometimes it could feel or come across as hurtful, but it was never done out of malice or anything like that, only to make you better, to prepare you for what was to come once you left those institutional doors. Number 2, in helping you to determine your personal style, a vision board, a mood board, right? Pinterest. Any one of those mediums can help you determine what your personal style is. That is a really easy one, and that is a really good one, because you can do something like go to the fabric store. My daughter and I do that all the time. Go to the fabric store and get swatches. You can get swatches for free of different colors, materials, textures that really resonate with you and speak to you. You can get inspiration from photos in magazines. Cut those photos out of magazines and pin them. That's a really simple one, a really easy one. Anyone can do it. And I guarantee you, you will see patterns emerge. For instance, I love pinstripes, right? Pinstripes are always a recurring theme in my wardrobe. Actually, I have a video here of some outfits that I did in pinstripe. That's really good, actually. Really, if I say so myself, you might want to check it out. But I really like pinstripes. And on my mood and vision boards, you see pinstripes all the time. I just think it's a timeless, classic, elegant, sophisticated, clean look, right? That's one that really does it for me, and that I saw as a recurring theme on my personal mood and vision boards. Take the outfit that I'm wearing today, this 2-piece pinstripe set from Commense. Now, it really does hearken to all of the design elements that I love for my personal style, right? It has this 4-button vest that is actually cropped here. The arms are out, of course, because it's summer. And yes, you can wear black in the summer. You can wear black in the summer, as is evidenced by what I'm wearing, with this long maxi skirt and the venting and the split up the back here that just shows some leg, some peekaboo leg in the back to expose the red Sam Edelman sandals that I wore with it, right? This is another one of the gazillion pairs of Sam Edelman city sandals that I have. These are 100% suede, again, with the leather footbed on it. And of course, the strap that goes around the ankle. This is a 4-inch heel, but with a little platform here. So again, easy to walk in. And I have about 6 or 7 pairs of these. I think it's 7. It's 7. 7 pairs of these. Again, 100% suede, but I love this Vivian Sam Edelman city sandal to actually accent and highlight this outfit so that the shoes did not get swallowed up by the length of the pinstripe maxi skirt. Now, I also paired this with my Botiker satchel here. You've seen her before. Botiker is a wonderful handbag company. I, again, do not understand. I do not know why they are not more well known. You know, I am in love. I adore a well-made satchel exactly like this one. I have about 4 of these satchels from Botiker. I keep saying Botiker. It's Botiker. It has a sleeve on the back. It does come with a chain for crossbody shoulder wear. I keep the paper in all of my bags when I am not using them. So this one is not new. I've had it for about 10 years. Yeah, I think you've seen this one once before in a previous video, but I really love the juxtaposition of the leather. You see there is like a croc print to it. Yeah, the juxtaposition of this steel metal handle on the satchel and this steel silver hardware that serves as the clasp for opening and closing the bag. So yes, we highlighted with that, as well as my Sunnies, these Amazon beauties that I have in multiple colors. You've seen these before, and you're likely to see them again because I'm in love with them. But again, I will link all of this for you below, as well as I also accentuated as an accessory with this scarf that my daughter made. And I don't know if you can tell closely there. It is a crinkled material. Yeah, but it also has pinstripes in it. Can you see that? I don't know if the crinkleness is keeping you from being able to see the pinstripes, but it is a pinstripe scarf. It's an oversized scarf. I actually travel with this scarf a lot, and it's a very weighty, heavy satin material, but I absolutely love it. I'll never get rid of it. And again, my daughter made this, I think, about 10 years ago. But that is today's OOTD, today's outfit of the day, in highlighting what kinds of design elements you can use and really play up in your personal design style. Where pinstripes are concerned, I must say, not everyone can wear pinstripes. I shouldn't say that. It's how you wear pinstripes. But pinstripes, to me, you have to be very strategic with how you wear pinstripes. Now, if you are wearing vertical pinstripes, meaning up and down, as is evidenced by the set that I'm wearing here. Again, the set is by Commense, if I did not say that. Vertical stripes elongates you. Yes, they elongate you. I stay away from, and I really do not care for horizontal stripes because they broaden you, they widen you. And if you're on the heavier side, they just magnify how much larger you are. Or they make you look even larger. So I have a tendency, even with my small frame, I am, again, 5'2.5". I am currently 135 pounds. I still stay away, or I'm very strategic with how I wear horizontal stripes. Number 3, you really do want to identify styles that speak to your personal lifestyle as well as your values. So let's say, as a really extreme example, people that are rooted within a particular type of religion, they dress a certain way all the time. Now, extreme examples are like the Amish, for instance, right? Or the Catholic Church, nuns and priests, they're always dressed in some type of religious garb, or, you know, the collars that the priests wear. Those, again, are extreme examples, but just to give you an idea of religions that really do determine what their design aesthetic, their style aesthetic needs to be, and they ride that baby into the sunset. So I said, yeah, the Amish is a great one. The Catholic Church is a great one. You think of Kojic, like, that wear the long gowns all the time. Their hair is a certain way. Again, whatever speaks to your particular lifestyle will also be a very good guidepost as to how you want to dress and how you want to be perceived in terms of your personal style. Number 4, in helping you to determine your personal style, we're going to discuss 7 universal style types. 7, romantic. Yes, romantic. Classic, traditional. Classic, elegant. Natural, yes. Dramatic, high fashion, that's one category on its own. Creative, and alluring. Now, you can be an amalgamation of a few of these. You don't have to just fit neatly or nicely into one of these categories. Take myself, for instance. I definitely am in the categories of classic elegant, classic traditional, and alluring. Those are the three categories that most resonate with my personal design aesthetic. Now, in terms of those universal types, generally speaking, have you determined those three adjectives that really decide, that really speak to, that really resonate with your personal design aesthetic? For instance, mine are timeless, classic, prim. I say it at the beginning of every episode. You will see those three words laced throughout all of my platforms. So if you go to the description and you read my little bio in the description, I say that, timeless, classic, prim. If you look at my Instagram bio, I say that, timeless, classic, prim. And I say it to you again at the opening of every episode. Determine what your three design aesthetic principles are and ride those babies off into the sunset, or into the design heavens, if you will, right? So let's talk about the first one, romantic. And I just want to say, romantic is not what you think of it in terms of the etymology of the word. What do you mean, Erica? What do you mean? The word romantic comes from the Romantic period, which is 1820 to 1900. So, the 19th century is rooted in the Romantic period. Romantic, where music is concerned, that is originally where the word came into its use. It didn't have anything to do with amorousness, meaning love. It didn't have anything to do with intimacy for one another or for another. It had to do with bombacity. It had to do with self-exploration. It had to do with fortitude. It had to do with freedom of thought and expression, in music in particular. So the word romantic as we use it today has nothing to do with the actual etymology of the word romantic. Remember that and go look it up and check it out. Again, it had to do with self-exploration, individualism, again, bombacity, all where music is concerned. So that's number one. Do you like the romantic look? Something that's sweet and soft and dainty in terms of how we use the word today. Sweet, soft, dainty, pastels, right? Doily. I think of doily when I think of romantic. I think of bows when I think of romantic. I think of hearts when I think of something in its romance state, right? So that is number one, romance, yeah? Types 2 and 3 really speak to my personal design style and aesthetic intimately, right? Classic elegance and classic traditional, all up in here for me. When you think of those two categories, and I really do think that those could have been one category, but when you think of classic elegance, you think of polished, you think of prim, you think of stature, you think of refinement, you think of quality fabrics, you think of long-lasting fashion elements, and you think of appropriateness. When you think of, which I think really is classic traditional, appropriateness, classic traditional. But when you think of classic traditional, you think of long-lasting fabrics, neatness, you think of primness, classic, timeless, prim. And you think of conventionalness, you think of understated elegance, you think of correctness, right? And you think of timelessness. Yes, that's me all day long, all day long. The next element is natural. When you think of natural, you think of like people that you see that are in the gym all the time, which is another one for me because I am in the gym all the time. And as a former bodybuilding and fitness competitor, it's a very, very important element of my life. And I have dozens of different types of athletic and athleisure wear in my wardrobe. I always will, because the gym will always be a part of my everyday lifestyle. So yes, you think of sports, you think of people that are no nonsense, no fuss, no makeup, really. You think of convenience. Yeah, you really do. When you think of natural, you think of something that's easy and free and no fuss. That's an easy one, right? The next one is dramatic and high fashion. That's one category, dramatic and high fashion. And you think of designers like Schiaparelli, you think of Alexander McQueen, you know, those designers who really do over the top, bold designs, bold colors. You think of experimental, you think of carefree, you think of standing out in a crowd. You have no desire to fit in. High fashion, you know, the runway. You think of Fashion Week, right? You go to see the avant-garde at these shows. Now, this next category, alluring, I definitely bleed into, and I'm going to read alluring for you, right? Because it really does speak to my personality as well. For alluring, you show a little skin. You're proud of your curves and all of your best assets because you've worked hard for them. You're fearless. You have a tendency to be attractive. Exercise and sports are very important to you, and it matters to you how you meet the masses on a regular basis. Baby, that's me, alluring, right? And then the last category we have is creative, individual. Again, one of those groups of people that have no intentions of fitting in with the masses. You are unique. You love being stand out. You might think of vintage. You might think of like the 1950s pinup girls. So we have an entire subculture of people who dress for the 1950s or in different types of eras and periods. And that is just their thing. That is what they love. Think of like burlesque dancers, you know, super creative. Yeah, just people who are unconventional is what I'll say. Unconventional. That's a great word for the creative. So again, those 7 category types, right? Where do you fit in to one of those categories? Again, you may fit into multiples of those categories, but start there. Where do you fit in? And then number 5, what you want to do is take one of those categories or multiples of those categories and make them work for you. I really do think that as long as you know your body, as long as you know your body type, and again, what looks good on you, what you should and you should not wear for your specific body build, structure, and type, then you go for it. And then number 6 is super, super, super important. Why? Because it doesn't matter what you have on a lot of the time, as long as you show up in it confident, right? Having personal style really makes you interesting. It makes you unique. It makes you stand out in a crowd. You know, there's always a time and a place where you have been, whether it is a boardroom, whether it is a ballroom, where someone has walked in and all eyes have gone to that person because of how they carry themselves, because of the confidence, because of the fortitude, because of the it factor that they walk into a room with. I have always been told that you should dress for the rooms that you want to enter. You should dress for the rooms that you're showing up in. You should dress, even if you haven't arrived yet, you should dress for the opportunity to, because you never know who you're going to run into in those rooms. So half of your battle is showing up confident in the skin that you're in and the clothes on your back. It's everything. I cannot tell you how important it is that you develop some confidence about yourself, no matter your body type, no matter your circumstances. No one knows when they see you for the first time what you've been through. You have no idea what your sister girl has been through in her life. But I refuse to let those trials, tribulations, and ills define me as the woman that I've always wanted to be in my life. So please just remember that it is very important that your personal style makes you memorable. It makes you interesting. It makes people want to know who you are. And by extension, it really does take you into the rest of your life. Remember, I said to you that the Italians have a saying, la bella figura. To strike a beautiful figure means to make a great first impression. Or the French have a saying as well, savoir-faire. Savoir-faire means to have tact and poise in whatever it is that you do. So they're just other ways. Those are two other ways of saying, just be confident when you walk into the room that you plan to be in, or that you're going to be in, or the rooms that you want to be in someday, that you've not necessarily made it to yet, but you know that someday the opportunity will present itself and you are going to be ready because you have flushed out your personal design style and aesthetic. I hope that that helped you today in determining your personal style and that it will no longer be an ambiguous undertaking for you. But until we meet again, Muses, don't forget to head on over to Instagram and follow me there at Suits Souls by EPP. And if you're not already doing so, please hit that like and subscribe button for notifications on all new episodes. But until we meet again, bye. A bientôt, Muses.